Hey everybody, this is Lynna and you're watching Lynna's Life. And today I just wanted to say a few words and stuff just about the beginning of the new year and things that have happened lately. Um, just life in general, how things have changed, things have, just kind of like developed in a way that I'm really excited about. One of the big, huge changes this year was after I came back from Florida. I really wanted to just be in, you know, a flow of positivity and a flow of, you know, peacefulness and kindness to others and a flow of love, really, because I had last year really, really struggled, with my own self. And in that struggle, I hurt a lot of people. Um, Hurt a lot of people in the trans community, hurt a lot of people who trusted me, hurt a lot of people who thought really nice things about me. And after I went on this kind of, I don't know, desperate rampage, I guess, to best describe it, it seems like in the aftermath. But a lot of people got hurt in the process, and I feel really, really bad about it. Maritza does too. Uh, those of you who know my story, I was involved in a terrible car accident last year, and in my recovery, I just came to understand certain things about me that I really, was struggling with as far as my own future. What was going to happen? Was I going to be able to transition, and was I going to be able to live my life how I wanted to, how I felt? And I felt like everything was under attack, and I started questioning my own, identity, and it was a real struggle for me. And I'm easily, like naturally, easily defensive, so people started saying things that I didn't quite agree with, but in my questioning, I was just like, but how can it be? This is what we are, and this is not the truth of, who we are, and answering that whole issue regarding the, sex you were born as and the sex you identify as and the gender issues and stuff. And I honestly got a little jealous of people because I felt like I was not going to be able to continue my transition the way I wanted to. I had lost all the source of my money, my income was gone. Now I was living on food stamps and, the help of a person that had come into my life who had really loved me and risked themselves in order to take care of me and put everything on the line just for me. And I'm talking about Maritza. And Maritza did that for me. And it was a very beautiful, beautiful thing to have someone think of me in such a way and to take care of me and to provide for me. Because Maritza fed me. I didn't have a dime to my name. I remember I was waiting for things to pan out, and I had bills coming up. I had one helicopter bill from the emergency that came that was tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, this was a bill that there was no way I was ever going to be able to pay it. And I was just in this state of like panic because I was like, how is that going to get taken care of? And then I had a fear of my taxes and everything because I was like totally, injured and stuff, but it had worked and I was just all scared about everything. And Maritza taught me to just calm down and just let things be. And at first it was a real struggle, and it kept on being a struggle all last year. But kind of started falling into that flow of thinking and stuff, and I ended up, you know, having things happen, you know, that I never would have thought would have happened, like things that I never imagined. We ended up moving out of this RV that she was living in and had owned and everything into a beautiful villa this past summer, and it was everything that we had visualized for ourselves, because we had put ourselves, it's funny because we put ourselves in a place of positivity for certain things, but in other things we had thought, you know, we had gone to a part of ourselves that was really angry and frustrated. So we were saying things against the trans community, but then we were still operating parts of our lives in this positivity. And the things that we were operating in positivity brought us so much blessing. But the things that we weren't were bringing us so much pain, really, because it was something that we were dealing with that was really difficult. And things that we said to the trans community. We believe certain things about our puberty blockers, speech and everything, and then the video that we made, but other things of transition isn't good for me, so it's not good for you. Well, that is not going to fly. You know, when you weigh it all out, people are individuals and they do different things, and they, you know, have different life experiences that are theirs, and we have our life experiences that are ours, you know, and those two things are very different. Nothing is the same, and that's a principle of life. You know, we can't force our beliefs down the other's, you know, throat. I was taught as a Christian to tell people, hey, you need Jesus, you need to be saved. Have you read the four, you know, what is it, the 4 laws or whatever, and this tract that used to come out that you hand to people, and, you know, you tell them that they need God and stuff. And, you know, the thing is that everybody's on their own journey, and it's not that easy. You can't just make people think a certain way. And that was one of the things that we really regret from last year, was making it seem like we thought that people are like a one-size-fit-all kind of, you know, approach to everyone's life, and that just isn't true. I learned that through so many experiences, you know, with my own parents and my own ex and my own children, which are still painful lessons that I'm trying to grasp right now, in the sense of how I feel that their rejection affects me, because their rejection is painful. But what do I do with it? Do I turn it into more rejection for myself? Do I let it come into my heart and try to make those things even more like a weapon that's gonna end up destroying me? Or do I use these things as a way to know how to deal with life in a way that would make me feel as if I'm going to be able to be a better person through it? And things and object lessons to learn about, you know, well, hey, rejection isn't cool. It's not a good thing to ostracize people. What am I going to do with that? Just because I'm ostracized, now I'm going to ostracize others? No, I'm going to learn how not to be that way, so that I can make an impact and be a positive influence in someone else's life who might feel that kind of sentiment, and help them to heal from it. Because the only way we can heal ourselves is if we allow ourselves to receive that healing, which comes from within. It doesn't come from an outside source. It comes from within us. We have everything that we need in order to heal. And that's one of the things that I've learned, is that I can take, you know, my mom's constant berating and saying, I want you to come back. I want you to be the person that you were, the person that I loved. I'll never accept you. This, that, and the other. Or I can use it to an advantage and say, you know what? I understand that she feels that way. I understand that she's hurt. I understand that she wants me to be a certain person for her and that she needs that person. And I can be sympathetic to that. And I don't need to feel like butthurt over it. Because at the end of the day, we just watched a movie. It was called Bridge of Spies. And this guy who's like, obviously a Russian spy was caught, in America. And in the movie, Tom Hanks is a lawyer who was hired to defend him and stuff. And it was really just kind of a surfacey thing that the government wanted him to represent this guy, just to, make it seem like they were treating him fairly. But in the end, they wanted to let him die. Well, Tom Hanks, as a man of principle, he wanted to make sure that this guy got a fair treatment. And he saw that this guy was basically a soldier in his own country's army. And, he was faithfully doing his job. And he knew that maybe in the future, in America, there would be an American spy who would be caught in Russia. And how would they end up treating, how would the Russians end up treating them if we treated the American in a very mean and unfair manner? And the funny thing is, the interesting thing is that this Russian spy who could have faced death, by electric chair, Tom Hanks, the character that Tom Hanks plays, says, so you're not afraid of that? And he's like, what difference would it make? I mean, yeah, there's things that happen in life, and if we look at it and go, oh my gosh, this could happen to me or that could happen to me, but at the end of the day, what difference does it make? What happens to you? In that sense, what's it going to add for you? What did he actually say? He said something like, is that going to change anything? Like when he was...
do I have to? Or like, he's saying, is it going to make it any better? That kind of thing.
Like if I'm gonna go through these things, then, and if I'm worrying about it, what's it gonna solve?
Yeah.
I forget exactly what he said, but it's basically, why worry about it? I mean, people are gonna feel the way they do. Us as trans people, in the sense, most of the world's not gonna get it. Most of the world's gonna look at it and go, we don't understand this and we don't accept you. But how does that make you feel in the sense of how, how is it going to change how you live your life?
All you can do is live your best life, that you can, and not let the outer world dictate your happiness.
Yeah, you can't let others.
And worry doesn't solve anything. Like that guy said, would that make it better? I think that's what he said. Would that make it better?
Right. Is that going to make it any better?
Should I worry?
Yeah. So it's like the electric chair is there. I can be electrocuted and killed or whatever. But is that going to make anything better for me to worry about it?
And get all panicked, and it makes it worse.
So it's one of those things where it's all a matter of perspective. How you look at life, how you see yourself in the situations that the universe puts you through. These are things that, that are meant to be a challenge, that are meant to be there. Even the bad things that happen, even the things that you have no control over, even the things that you think, are going to spell impending doom, are things that, like a forest, gets ravaged by a fire, and everything is destroyed. The trees are destroyed, the grass is destroyed, homes are destroyed, lives are destroyed. But
a new life comes.
New life rises out of the ashes, and that's what happens. Sometimes those experiences are the experiences that, might bring about a brand new change, a brand new direction. I recently found out that my own 15-year-old daughter um, took up drawing as an art form after the things that happened with me and everything 2 years ago. And after I left the house, that she really got involved in art. And I'm not saying that that's the reason that people, should do things that hurt other people, but a lot of times we don't know exactly why things happen the way they do. And I know that she probably would never have been interested in drawing, in art. And I don't know, maybe she's going to grow up and be a painter. Maybe she's going to make a picture that's going to change the life of somebody, and make a huge difference in someone else's life. I don't know. But I do know that life is not consequential, and things that happen in our lives are not things that is just like a fluke. These are things that happen that sometimes they're not even intended for our benefit. Sometimes the things that happen in our life are to make it a point to be a catalyst to help someone else. And it's not about us at all. So, yeah, there's so many things. This year is going to be super exciting. We're going to move to Florida. I know I was on my video before talking about changes and everything while I was in Florida. But things are kind of set in motion. We just got a brand new car. We just got like this really hot, brand new 2016 Toyota Corolla LE, Barcelona red, beautiful car. Has every gadget and toy imaginable in it except for a moonroof. The thing is flawless, and it's a beautiful car. We had a problem with our last car, that the transmission, the training went out. Yeah, the training went out, and it was kind of messed up. When you can't go in reverse, that gets to be kind of difficult to drive. And we were talking to one of the mechanic, actually. We brought the car early December to get it looked at, and the guy looked it over. He was like, "Oh yeah, this car is gonna be great. It's a 500,000 miler. We had like 130,000 on it." He was like, "This car's great. All you need to do is we'll just get it road ready for you. We're gonna change the brakes out. We're gonna change the trans fluid and blah 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 and all this other stuff, and we're gonna have it road ready for you." So we drive it off the lot after they fix it and everything. $1,000 later, okay, and we told them the biggest thing that was the problem was this clunk that the car was doing. It was like you go uphill, or if you put the brakes on, you could hear literally something going underneath, like the engine was going to fall off or something. And Maritza and I don't know much about cars. I was never a car person, so it was just whatever mechanics could do. And mechanics are hard to trust these days, but we thought, this is a small town, mom and pop, people want to have good reputations and stuff, and we were wrong, because on the drive out to Florida, we had issues with the car. The same clunk happened, the same things were starting to happen with the car, but then new noises appeared. The guy fixed, something in the air conditioner, and it was like making this weird wisping sound in it and stuff like that. And then one time when we're pulling out, in Florida from eating out of Pollo Tropical, if you guys ever been to Florida, or into the south, they have some of these places. Backing up, the car started going like shaking, and it felt like it was gonna like give up the ghost right there and then. But Maritza worked her magic and got it to work and stuff, and we were able to back it up and get going. And the whole trip, we were able to use it for what it was worth and stuff. And we drove all the way back, and we're thinking, gosh, if we had known what we knew, about the car afterwards, we would never have taken it to the mechanic. He pretty much fleeced us for the repairs and stuff, because those are things that, probably didn't need to be changed. Brakes weren't looking bad. They didn't smell bad. They didn't break bad. So, all this stuff that this guy did, we took it into the mechanic, and the car could go in reverse before, but after the mechanic looked at it, it was useless. It couldn't work anymore. And he blamed it on our trip to Florida. And he said that, oh no, the car was fine. It's like, no, it was the same problem. And then he called the house, and it was like, no, it was wrong. It was fine. We just needed to change the $2,500 later. We have to fix your transmission. It's like, we paid $2,500 for the car. I'm not gonna put another $2,500 in. So, needless to say, the car got us to Toyota, and we got into a brand new car, and it is sweet. It's awesome. It has like all this stuff. It's got Bluetooth in it, and these are things that we had even imagined when we first got our Intrepid. Back in March of last year, we were like, what we really need is a Toyota. And Maritza loves Toyotas. She's grown up with Toyotas, had like a bunch of Toyotas in the past. And they're great cars. And I've had Honda and Mazdas and stuff, and I love them. But, we ended up getting the car that we envisioned. And that's the thing, we can either live our lives opposing things and fighting against things, or we can put our minds to creating things and having things happen that we ourselves create. And that's the thing, we can do this. And that's what we did. We did it for our apartment, and we did it for our car. And I guarantee you, when you see us next month, we'll have done it for our new apartment in Hollywood. So, and not California, Florida. That's the way the universe works. That's the way I was not taught to believe. I was taught to fear. I was taught to think that things are, things that you need to be worried about, or else something's going to happen. If you don't do this, don't do that. My own Christian faith was built around that. And now I find myself having the freedom to be able to live my life on my terms. No one else's, not some book I read, not some preacher I heard from, but on my terms. And that's the wonderful thing of life, that we can live life and live it in peace and in love with everyone. So I guess I've rambled enough, but I just wanted you guys to know that the most important thing is to understand that we are here to be creatures of light. We're here to spread positivity and love to people. And it's not some Hallmark card thought to be a loving person, to actually believe that love can change the world, because it can. It can. Don't sell love short. Love can do what nothing else can. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Love you.